Paddy the Baddy is in free fall and he's got to catch himself. Now, I have seen this rinse and repeat 20 times, and I can tell you right off the top of my head. Here's what happened. Okay, Paddy the Baddy tasted defeat for the very first time. When you taste defeat for your very first time after you worked your way to the highest level, which is main event, title fight, nothing trumps it. If you can put those together and you can fight in a main event for a title, like, there's literally nothing above it. Now, you want to get that back. And for the first time ever, you have people questioning you. For the first time ever, you're not the hot prospect that is on his way to a championship fight because you just had it. You got a little bit of a rebuild, and Paddy doesn't fall too far. Paddy's still a top guy. Paddy could main event, isn't going to fall lower than a Co. Like, he's still in a good spot.
The scary one for fighters, too, because the thrill of cocaine for some reason is exciting to people who love, like, exciting things. Like, there's something about fighters who are adrenaline junkies that like to be pumped up, and yeah, Connor seems to enjoy it, which is one of the things that makes me think he probably won't come back. But if he does come back, it's got to be now. You know, again, at 36 years old now, Paddy Pimblett. That's the fight.
That's going to be a big fight.
Big fight.
Yeah.
But I don't even think Connor's in the drug testing pool anymore.
No?
You don't think so? I don't believe so. I don't believe so. See if you can Google that. Find out if he's in the drug. I think he pulled out of the drug testing
he's going to come
pool.
back.
You think so?
Yeah. If they give the opportunity to I don't know, to guys like, I don't know what, 40 years old, like Arlovsky, you can have so many names that they fought at 4 years age. Why not Conor?
Paddy Pimblett has become one of the most talked about fighters in the UFC, but behind the wild personality, the jokes, the confidence, and the unmistakable Scouse accent is a fighter who has developed into a genuinely dangerous problem for anyone standing across from him.
And so now he's going to go in there against someone, and maybe he's going to go in against someone who's on another level, like one more level up, and he's going to be in trouble. His fights are like fat camps. Yeah, they're really not like training camps where you're going over skills as much as he's got very good skills.
Yeah.
But now he's just trying to lose weight. He gets so big, his big pie face. But sometimes you can be more famous than you are good.
Yeah.
And that's a real problem when you run up against a Justin Gaethje or some fucking assassin.
To casual fans, Paddy can sometimes look unorthodox, unpredictable, and even reckless. But fighters who understand MMA see something very different.
Still talking about this, and fighters are still getting fined, right? Having parts of their purse withheld. And Paddy Pimblett apparently might be having all of his purse withheld. That is according to multiple news outlets. Now, I was going to do a video on Paddy Pimblett potentially versus Charles Oliveira for the BMF belt going down at Madison Square Garden. So I thought I'll just Google Paddy Pimblett. I'll just, familiarize myself with his record, okay? And when I clicked on Paddy Pimblett on Google, this is what comes up. Paddy Pimblett, hold on, where's the headline? Paddy Pimblett under investigation and faces purse being withheld after UFC 329 win. Right, we know what happened at 329. He went out, he shocked the world, he choked out Benoit Saint-Denis in about 60 seconds. He made it look absolutely easy. He totally smoked him, and of course, nothing but big things ahead for Paddy Pimblett. And I do think a fight with him against Charles Oliveira for the BMF at Madison Square Garden makes all the sense in the world. Paddy Pimblett.
They see a competitor who is extremely difficult to prepare for, who knows how to create chaos, who is comfortable fighting through adversity, and who has developed a submission and grappling game that can change the fight in an instant. That combination is exactly what makes Paddy Pimblett so scary good.
Paddy the Baddy, looking into the future, what do you see? I mean, if anybody's in a really good spot, right, we got a number of guys whose career and positions and potential opportunities that you could really envy. I think that Paddy's in one of those spots. Guys, I went through some numbers this morning. Paddy the Baddy, new kid on the block, 28 years old in the world of sport. Now, the world has greatly changed, and we could thank guys like Brett Favre and Randy Couture for that. So I just remind you, I was a little surprised. I did not realize that he was at that point. I mean, you got to get moving. You have got to get going. This has got to get done. Okay, fine. Looks like he's on a pretty good trajectory. He's not ranked. Where do you think Paddy Baddy will be in a year? I think his skills are great. great. I thought he looked amazing in his last fight. I'm a little surprised he's not in the top 15. And how much does that matter? I mean, we just saw Sugar Sean move from 10 to 1. So we know that it can happen fast, but those numbers are interesting. 28 years old, not in the top 15. I don't have a judgment. If any of this sounded like a negative tone, it sure didn't mean to. It's an observation. Year's gonna be here in a snap of a finger. If you were to guess, where's Paddy gonna be?
One of the most dangerous things about Paddy is that he does not always fight in a way that looks technically perfect. He is not the kind of fighter who constantly stands in perfect textbook positions or moves exactly the way a traditional striking coach would teach. Instead, Paddy thrives in messy exchanges. He is comfortable when the fight becomes chaotic, and that is an enormous advantage in MMA. When two fighters are exchanging clean combinations at distance, the fight can sometimes be predictable. But when Paddy starts mixing punches, kicks, clinches, takedowns, scrambles, and submissions, the opponent can suddenly find themselves dealing with a completely different fight. His grappling is perhaps the biggest reason experienced fighters take him seriously.
Manny in particular, like, he loves earning money off fighters. Like, every decent job he's had, he's been sacked from. You know what I mean? Like, and now he's just a biased content creator. You know what I mean?
100%.
And he hates on you, hates on the UFC, even hates on me now. And it proper annoys me because he uses fighters for clicks, uses fighters to make money, and then tries to have the audacity to talk about the UFC and yourself, saying that they don't pay the fighters enough. Get your dough out, Ariel. You know what I mean? Start paying people for these interviews, what you make thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds on. And that, I know that now because I make money off YouTube. So I know how much he earns off YouTube, off all his interviews, what he does. You're doing it for exposure. No, you're not. You're doing it to put money.
Paddy has a natural understanding of how to create opportunities on the ground. Once he gets an opponent into a bad position, he is constantly looking for ways to advance, attack a submission, or force a reaction. He does not simply hold someone down and wait for the referee to stand them up. He wants to make something happen. That attacking mentality can be exhausting for an opponent because every defensive movement can create another opening for Paddy. Then there is his ability to fight through difficult moments. Paddy has shown throughout his UFC career that he can absorb adversity without mentally disappearing from the fight.
As soon as you landed, I think it was a knee that blew his cheek open, right? Did you know, okay, beginning of the end here, right? There's very few fighters that can survive a shot like that and keep coming.
Yeah, I smell blood in the water and I've got proper killer instinct. So, but the one thing I did do is obviously I ran at him and started putting it on him, and then we'd spoke about it beforehand. A wounded animal is the most dangerous one. And you've seen it with Chandler before. When he's hurt, he swings wild and he catches people. So I thought, this is the time to take him down. This is the time to put him on his back and put a beating on him.
That quality is incredibly important at the highest level. Plenty of talented fighters look brilliant when everything is going their way, but the truly dangerous fighters are the ones who remain dangerous when the plan falls apart. Paddy has demonstrated that ability to stay composed, keep working, and find ways back into the fight. Another part of what makes Pimblett difficult to deal with is his confidence. Love him or hate him, Paddy genuinely believes he belongs among the best fighters in the world.
And obviously I went for the submission at first, but after watching Charles fighting for 5 rounds, that's why Charles never got the finish. He was hunting the submission, and I just knew I could TKO him on the floor with ground and pound.
I assume there are probably times before this in your career that you would not have been that smart and made that choice. Is it cool to go in there and sort of after the fact be able to realize, well, I can see my own growth. I'm seeing growth in fights with better IQ.
Yeah, I think I've got the best fight IQ in the game. Other than John Jones, I think I've got the best fight IQ in the game. I don't think anyone's got better fight IQ than me.
That belief affects the way he approaches fights. He is willing to take risks, enter uncomfortable positions, and trust his skills when many fighters would hesitate. His personality can make those risks look reckless from the outside, but there is a difference between blindly taking punishment and being comfortable operating in dangerous situations. Paddy often seems to understand that chaos can work in his favor. His physicality also deserves more attention than it sometimes receives. Paddy is a large, powerful lightweight who can make fights physically exhausting. When he gets his hands on an opponent, he can make them carry his weight, defend takedowns, and constantly fight for position. Even when he is not landing devastating strikes, those physical exchanges can drain an opponent's energy. And once fatigue begins to appear, Paddy's grappling becomes even more dangerous because tired fighters make slower decisions and leave more openings.
Like Ariel Helwani in particular, like he loves earning money off fighters. And now he's just a biased content creator.
Yeah.
He uses fighters for clicks, uses fighters to make money. Get your dough out, Ariel. You know what I mean? Start paying people for these interviews. You're doing it for exposure. No, you're not. You're doing it to put money in your pocket, Ariel, you little rodent.
He's a piece of.
Yeah, he is. He's a maggot. He's a lizard.
He's one of the slimiest.
The evolution of his striking is another reason fighters cannot simply assume they can beat him on the feet. Paddy's striking style is unconventional, but it has enough variety to keep opponents guessing. He can throw straight punches, hooks, kicks, and combinations while constantly changing the rhythm of the fight. More importantly, his striking can be used to create opportunities for his grappling. That is what makes MMA specialists so dangerous. The individual skills do not exist separately. The punches can lead to the takedown can lead to the submission, and the threat of the submission can create openings for the strikes. Perhaps the most underrated aspect of Paddy's game is his ability to make opponents fight his fight. When a fighter becomes uncomfortable, they often abandon their original strategy. They start reacting instead of dictating. Paddy is very good at creating that reaction. His pressure, personality, awkward movements, and constant attacks can force an opponent to make decisions they did not want to make. At the highest level, forcing someone into mistakes can be just as valuable as landing a perfect technique.